Tesla is doing a lot of money and they will make more money in the future. I'm glad to have you back here on my channel. We will discuss a new opportunity that Tesla might take in investing into a company, which is a very smart move for the future. So as Tesla is building its own production line when it comes to batteries, like here in Giga Berlin or in Austin and other places, working with Panasonic, CATL and LG, Tesla has a long history of planning ahead a few years. Now what is happening with LG? LG is actually separating into LG Energy Solution the entire battery production. Now Tesla might use that chance to actually buy a stake into LG Energy Solution with 10%. That is very smart because we all know the battery production will further increase. The worth of the 10% will increase by time, and not only that, Tesla will have the ability to be the most important customer, as they will be the preferred customer if they have a stake into that company. Now, so they can only control their own production, they will be able to control as well the suppliers as they are investing in it. And this is very smart. They have the cash to do so. It makes a lot of sense to get more control over the entire supply chain. And thinking a few years ahead, we do know that Tesla needs more and more batteries, and Panasonic is already increasing production. We have talked about LG in the video yesterday and investments in the US. We have talked about, of course, CATL a lot of time. Again, Tesla might not do that with any, every supplier, but having some sort of investments in different areas outside of their own world is very important. And this could also give Tesla an opportunity to further drive costs down, as they are not only a supplier and customer, they are also an investor. And if we look into BYD is considered a very good competitor when it comes to Tesla just by the numbers. But as you just saw, numbers are not everything. You need to make some money with what you're building, and Tesla is unbeatable with that. No one is even coming close to it. And this is what is currently happening. We have seen already with price increases, with making a lot of money, that Tesla was able to gain a lot of market share. And if we're looking into the US, the entire EV market share has not been increasing from Q2 to Q3, but in Europe and in China, it's just going off the chart. And if you look into 28%, there are hybrid cars as well. We must honestly admit that, but nevertheless, the trend is your friend, and it's going up, and that is happening rapidly. And so strong partners, being a stakeholder, investing into other companies that are part of the supply chain of the future is a very wise move. So I do expect more stuff like that to happen as Tesla is gaining the opportunity to make more money. And on the other hand, Tesla is going to be more efficient, drive costs down, and has more room to actually decrease costs and sales and prices as well, not sales to be exact, but the prices, to gain even more market share. When it comes to the charging network, Tesla is also opening their EV connector design to the world, trying to get one EV connector in this case out there, so everybody is using the same standard. That would be again a very nice move to do that. Having a standard when it comes to charging cables, when it comes to connectors, so we all don't have the same situation like when we were buying smartphones. Every company having different charging cables, like Apple, or for example then the other customers getting different cables. This is a mess, and they are trying to solve that in Europe right now, just getting one standard charging cable for everything. Now, when it comes to the investments in China, Tesla is doubling down here. They really are willing to invest even more money into China. Tesla has been criticized by that because we all know the dependency when it comes to the gas and other things that we get from Russia, has been making people aware of not being too much dependent on China. On the other hand, I would argue the factory at some point in the future, in the next few years, will only supply for the Chinese market. So if we talk about Europe, our dependency will likely decrease to 0 in 2 years. Once Model 3 and future products are all going to be produced in Europe, here in Giga Berlin, so our dependency might not be that big anymore, and I think it will be decreased from other countries as well. Now, when it comes to the deployment, we see many things happening over the next few years. If I talk about few years, I mean 8 years until the end of the decade. Solar is going to be massive. Wind installations are planned a lot. And of course, EV business. The EV business is going to take over. We have seen it in Norway, market share already at over 80%. So I do expect, especially Europe and China, to reach levels of 60 to 80%, if not even more, by the end of the decade. When it comes to the US, it's a big market. Lots of people maybe not willing to buy an EV yet. But I think as well in the US, the disadvantage is that Tesla is moving forward, but there are not as many car companies selling EVs like in Europe or like in China. And this is not a thing that people don't buy an EV. There is just not enough production, to be honest with you, so that people could actually consider buying an EV. But Tesla is working on that as well. We all know that. And there was actually, based on Tesla Mag, and as I do have the German channel as well, there was some misinformation when it comes to China actually delivering cars to Europe. This is the correct way, but not China to the US. There was a Reuters article mentioning that China could be delivering cars to the US. This has been false. Elon Musk has actually corrected that on Twitter as well, said this is not correct. China is not going to deliver cars to the US market. What we know is that Taiwan is not going to receive any Model 3s anymore, as Tesla is currently just selling to US customers in Canada and Mexico and North America. And so Taiwan is currently not able to get any Model 3. That is the only thing we do know. Everything else is working according to plan. So I'm glad to have you back here on my channel. And if you get a car soon, either from China or somewhere else, and you like to buy stuff for your Tesla, check out teslasupply.com. Lots of products, over 160 of them. So do consider sharing.